Happening today, President Biden will discuss immigration and border security with Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Today's phone call coming during a record-breaking month in border crossings, as well as legal battles over Title 42 and the Remain in Mexico policy. Joe Khalil gauging the political appetite right now for broader immigration reform, and it really is, for the first time possibly in recent history, getting bipartisan support.
Yeah, well, obviously when Title 42 goes away as an issue, at some point it's going to be, resolved. But the issue of immigration reform generally, Adrienne, is not going to go away. And you're right. For 30 years, both parties have been talking about how there is a need to fix our broken immigration system, but they've failed to do so largely because of political reasons. So we talked to members of both parties about this, and they tell us, well, a big, large, comprehensive immigration package may be hard to do, and they're very clear-eyed about that. The pieces of them and getting some kind of bipartisan support for something, they're not giving up on.
The fight over Title 42, the Trump-era border policy, is just the latest round in a years-long debate over immigration. It's one of the hottest political and campaign issues, but when it comes to real reform, little action ever follows. Compromise seems almost impossible.
Is there any interest from Republicans, from the majority of Democrats, to actually sit down and do that?
There is interest. I mean, in fact, we passed two very big comprehensive bills.
Raul Ruiz chairs the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. He says despite the partisan bickering over immigration, there is a deal to be had that would provide more funding for border security, Republicans' biggest objective, and create pathways to citizenship and status for undocumented people, Democrats' biggest concern.
The Congressional Hispanic Caucus has always been advocating to look at the humanity and the protection of migrants that are fleeing for their lives.
The problem is that everyone wants to come to America, but America cannot hold everyone that wants to come to it.
Republican Congresswoman Maria Salazar differs slightly on details, but also believes there's enough both parties agreed to on immigration to work together.
That's why we need an complete immigration reform, and that's what I presented in a law.
Salazar introduced her own version of immigration reform. It does have some of the key tenets Democrats have pushed for. So while there is overlap in what Congress wants to do, the question remains, is there a willingness to get it done?
And if I can answer my own question there on the willingness, in an election year like we have now, it's really tough, Adrienne. But as you just reported, there are smaller pieces, smaller facets that are being worked on, that are being written, even as we speak. And I don't think a lot of people are aware of that.
All right, Joe, we always like to give people a new perspective, new information. Thank you so much. Wouldn't lawmakers want to get something done on immigration just so that they can show so many voters who are concerned about this an answer? Wouldn't that be an advantage?
Yeah, I mean, logically, you would think so. But, in an election year, what's difficult is that sometimes cynically politicians want the fight and not necessarily the fix. Republicans can campaign on open border and that sort of thing and paint Democrats in a certain light, and Democrats can campaign on, Republicans being sort of heartless to, DACA recipients, not allowing them to get status in this country. So both sides, in some cases, like campaigning on the fight rather than having a solution to it. And that makes things ever more complicated, especially, during an election year.
It kicks the can down the road because eventually somebody in office is going to have to deal with the solution, because resources are really a key to all of this, how to help so many people. Joe, thank you so much.
And they've been talking about it for literally 30 years now, and we have yet to see a bipartisan package come together on this.
Yeah, a generation. Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.